What do I hope to achieve with this gift of sound healing that I've been blessed with? Because it truly is a blessing to have this gift. I'm Lisa of Sacred Soundscapes. I am a trauma-informed sound healer. My greatest hope is to activate people into their healing journey, to create a safe space for their body to actually relax, reset, and recover so they can continue on with their day. I really believe that a lot of people just need that safe space. They need a safe space. And being able to use this gift to create the safe space for them to just zone out, fall asleep, tap into memories, tap into emotions, things that weren't available to them. The frequency can bring that out of them. But it has to be done in a safe space, because if your body doesn't feel safe, your body is going to resist it. So being able to create that safe space with sound, that is my biggest hope. Being able to transform people with my words, being able to relate to people with my vulnerability, because vulnerability is really hard for people, especially in public spaces. But owning my own vulnerability, I was truly guided to this modality after the pandemic. The pandemic did a number on me. I was an essential worker. So I was out there every day in it, maxed up, 6 feet distance, people not respecting the distance. And at that time, I was also understanding that I was an empath. So I was absorbing a lot of energy, but I didn't know what to do with that energy. Once I found sound healing, once I started to understand the chakra system, once I understood that I was an empath, I wanted to learn how to navigate the emotional landscape of this world after the pandemic. Sound healing is what really pulled me back in, because I was out there severely dysregulated, triggered all the time, couldn't manage my emotions, couldn't manage my thoughts, insomnia for days, almost weeks where I wouldn't even sleep. I might sleep 1 or 2 hours out the day because I would just be so wired. When I started to listen to sound healing, sound meditations, it really triggered something in me that I never felt, and I needed to discover it a lot more. It actually was introduced to me through the Jhené Aiko album. It was the Chilombo album. It was one of her albums that really brought a lot of emotion out of me. And at one point, I was a stonewall. I didn't cry. I might have got happy, but there was definitely no tears. To listen to an album, and that album made me cry so much, I couldn't understand what about her music was making me have such an emotional response, because I never really was a fan of hers before that album. Through more research, I literally stumbled across a reel of hers where she was talking about sound bowls, sound frequency, and how she infused that frequency into that album. So that really prompted me to start researching what sound frequency is, what sound healing is. And so I went and just bought my first sound bowl just to see what would happen. And it most definitely calmed my nervous system down, where I started to purchase more. And it was a closed practice for me at first. It wasn't for the world. It was really for me, because I really like holistic healing. I've never been a fan of going to the doctor, taking pills. Never really been a fan of those things, because I've never really been sick. So to be so mentally and emotionally and spiritually sick after the pandemic, I knew that traditional medicine wasn't going to help me. Not the way sound healing does. So as I started to purchase more sound bowls, I realized that these sound bowls were actually unlocking things in me. It took me back to my childhood. I started to remember things that I had suppressed. It took me back to when I used to play the violin. Literally forgot I played the violin for like 9 or 10 years. But all of that music training came right back to me once I started playing these sound bowls. And so the noise really cleared. It really allowed me to center myself and ground myself. And the more that I played these sound bowls, the better I got. My body was recovering because I was actually resting. I would play right before I go to bed, and I'm telling you, I would be asleep for about 5 or 6 hours, and that was the most sleep that I had gotten in months. That to me was very eye-opening that there's something in this. So I just did more research. I went and got my certifications, took a whole lot of online classes, and then I started to introduce it to the public. And the public was they were literally giving me the same responses that I was giving myself. So they were confirming what I thought. And that was enough for me to say, okay, let's try to make this a business. Let's just see where it goes. It's fun, it's a hobby. You're not going to fall apart if it isn't successful, because it's truly for you. It's just something that you share with other people. Even if it does not go anywhere else, this is always going to be my center. So I love where it's taking me. I love the people that I'm starting to meet, the rooms that I'm in now, where people are requesting me. I never thought that would happen, where people are requesting me. That is a wonderful feeling, to know that you're just sitting here being yourself, doing what you do, playing your instruments, and having such a big impact on people where they request you. I've never felt that before ever in my life. So I really cherish those moments. I cherish the feedback. I'm grateful that I'm becoming a lot more confident in myself, a lot more confident in my speaking, where I'm okay with sharing this with the world. I'm okay with speaking in rooms. And I feel that I'm only going to get better and better as I keep going down this road. So the most difficult choice that I've had to make on this journey is realizing that I'm worth the investment. And that worth had to start with me investing in my equipment. I changed my name from Energetic Medicine to Sacred Soundscapes because I no longer wanted to be a person's medicine. Work? How many promotions are we getting? How many accolades? How many degrees? Are we climbing up that ladder, and we attach our identity to the things that we achieve instead of understanding that we're worthy, period. We don't have to hustle just to prove our worth. When you think of the word medicine, you only take medicine when you're sick. And when you're sick, you're kind of already drained, so you can't really pour back into the medicine. And I found myself very depleted when I used that name. So I did a complete overhaul on my business, and it actually changed the way that I saw myself. If I say that I'm Sacred Soundscapes, I have to create the soundscape. So that meant investing in more equipment. It meant investing in different instruments. And I had to actually be okay with spending that money, knowing that there's not going to be a return on this investment right out the gate. It might take a while before I get the return on the money that I've spent on my instruments. But for me, that was connected to my worthiness. I'm worth that investment. And if I want to attract people who see that I'm worthy, then I have to move that way. So I had to I'm finna buy this $800 gong. I don't know when I'm gonna get that money back, but I'm gonna use this to uplift the collective. I knew if I wanted to attract people who would invest in me, I had to set the standard. I had to invest in me. And the biggest challenge for me when it came to investing in my worth, in my future, was adding instruments to my collection. I necessarily didn't always have the money, but I found a way to purchase instruments so I could add layers to my sound bath. A soundscape, for me, it's multiple layers. You hear multiple instruments coming in, fading out. You have elements going on in the background. And since right now I'm kind of a one-woman show, I had to figure out how can I incorporate all of those elements into my sound baths. That meant investing in more equipment. That meant believing that these resources are going to actually take me to where I need to go. Going crazy, adrenals messed up, deep in survival mode. And when our body is deep in survival mode, there's no space to heal. There's no space to rest. There's no space to recover. And so we kind of get into that cycle of work. We take the work home. When do we rest? I'm going to start with some breathing exercises before we go ahead and start. breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. So if you take those moments and you feel like you're a little bit stressed out, address the stress then. Don't let it prolong and maybe take you home. So, do I have any regrets about the journey that I've been on? Yes. The biggest regret that I have is that I didn't believe in myself sooner. Everyone around me believed in me. Everyone around me spoke life into me. They told me that I had a really good gift. They told me that my medicine, my sound healing, can really be impactful, but it took me a really long time to believe in my own self, that what I had was profitable, that it was healing, and that it was meant for me to walk in this. Once I started to believe in myself, shift the narrative, start actually speaking life into my own self. People can speak life into you, but sometimes you got to do it for your own self. You got to pray over your own self, lay hands on your own self. You have to get in that mirror and really tell yourself you can do this. Even if you haven't seen anyone that looks like you do this, you can still do this. You can be the first person to do something great. And that self-belief is what has gotten me this far. And I just wish I would have believed in myself just a little bit sooner. And at the same time, that's part of the journey, because you have to learn those lessons, go through those obstacles, experience that failure, and overcome it all so your self-belief muscle can build. It's really a muscle, and you have to show up every day to build that muscle. Trust in yourself, trust in your abilities. All of those are muscles that you have to build every day. You know, we stay in a world that tells us who we're supposed to be. We live in a world that tells us what we're worthy of. We live in a world that really just the world beats us up, put it that way. Social media has us out here comparing our lives to people, and we kind of feel less than sometimes. Our self-belief has to override all of that. And it takes a lot of self-belief to take a holistic modality and turn it into a business when you haven't seen anyone that looks like you do this. It takes an incredible amount of self-belief. And as I've gone on this journey, my self-belief has increased so much that can't nobody tell me nothing at this point. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy enough, that I don't deserve this, that the rooms that I'm walking in, I earned all of that. And that is through my self-belief. So I wish I would have believed in myself a little bit sooner, but at the same time, I understand I had to go through the process. You cannot skip the process. You can't skip the work, because when you get into those rooms, if that self-belief is not strong, you will crumble. You will crumble underneath the pressure. Your self-belief is your foundation. And so I'm glad that I'm here now. I just wish I would have got here just a little bit sooner, because who knows where I could be right now. Have I ever experienced burnout? Yes, I experienced severe burnout after the pandemic. I was an essential worker, so I had to go into the office every day, go into the grocery store, being around a lot of different people. It really did trigger a lot of emotions, and it triggered a lot of thoughts that I wasn't able to manage. So burnout was for real in my life. When we consistently make time for our mental health, we create space for our nervous system to relax, to recalibrate, and to remember what safety truly feels like. These small, consistent actions are where we begin to heal and nurture ourselves. When we allow ourselves these moments, we are giving our minds embodies permission to take a break, to step back, and to regain balance. Take time to validate your emotions. Honoring and acknowledging your emotions, no matter how big or small, is an essential part of self-care. Take time to vent to your community, your tribe, and your family. Venting isn't about staying stuck in the emotion. It's about giving yourself permission to feel, to express, and then to let it go. Remember the values and the vision that guide your life. They provide a solid anchor when life gets overwhelming and create space for you to live in alignment with your purpose. Make time to nurture your body. When you nurture your body, you are creating the foundation for mental clarity, emotional resilience, and the ability to handle life's challenges. So as you move forward with your day, remember this. It's the small, consistent moments that add up. These moments of self-care allow you to thrive, to feel safe, and to grow into the best versions of yourself. Exhale out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Now that the event, now that the meditation, now that the presentation is over, I see myself a little bit different. When I first started with sound healing, I was not as confident as I am now. I struggled with being seen. I struggled with speaking, public speaking. And over the course of me really sharing this gift with the world, like that has been the driving force for me. Share your gift. This gift can help people. It can uplift people. It can regulate people's nervous systems. It can actually trigger collective consciousness so we can come together as a people. So how I see myself now after that, I see myself as multidimensional. I see myself as being able to accomplish anything that I put my mind to. I see myself as courageous. Even with the fear, even with the nervousness, even with the self-doubt, to take that with me. I don't choose to leave it at home. We gonna take the fear, the self-doubt, y'all get in the back. We riding. Because courage is what's driving me now. Like courage to stand up, to speak, because I do have something to say. Even if everyone doesn't receive it, my goal is to always just reach one person in the room, maybe reach two people. That means that the mission is accomplished. So when I say multidimensional, you are able to do multiple things at once. You're able to be fearful and courageous. You're able to be scared and show up. You're able to cry and keep moving forward. You can do multiple things at once. So after this whole process, I see myself as so multidimensional because I'm doing things that I never thought that I would be doing. I'm in rooms that I never thought I would be in. And the only thing I had to do was show up as me, and people remembered me. People felt that impression like, we want her to come back. And that is the most wonderful feeling that you can feel, to know that your hobby, your gift is impacting people where they want to continue to pour into you. They want you to come to their events. They want you to feed and pour into them. That's a wonderful feeling. To the little girl that lives inside of me, the one thing I want to say to her, be gentle with yourself. You're still growing and learning to master yourself. You don't have to be strong all the time. You can be soft and loving and still play no games. You are a magical unicorn, and your power is in your gentleness with yourself and with the world around you. Being strong is cool. Being ambitious is even better. But choosing to be gentle when the world wants to harden your heart is the greatest of them all. A gentle spirit attracts everything to you with ease and grace, and you deserve a gentle life.